Even a little.
Where was that?
Oh, yeah.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got one correction, in approval of minutes, it should read March 12th instead of March 13th. Any other corrections or additions to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda?
Move to Rob, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Barb, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying nay. Passed unanimously. Is there any public comment for agenda items? Hearing none, we'll go ahead here. Approval of the minutes, the treasurer's report, approval of the minutes, March 12th, 2026.
So moved.
Moved by Bill to approve the minutes, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Barb, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying nay. Passed unanimously. Treasurer's report.
It's your balance report, but I'm guessing a lot of our millage money came in and hasn't been paid out yet, the way it looks. I know.
We're talking about the wrong department, but all, the millage money is in, and most of it is paid out as far as I know. I think she was still working on one or two things before she left on vacation, so.
Some might have been the last state of Michigan's payment. They came in.
Trying to find one.
I mean, it seems like a lot we got in.
Well, there's like a lot that goes out first of, right.
Right. But that's usually in end of the month, end of March it goes out.
Right, the end of March and then even, you know, the first quarters of the, first quarters of library and fire department go out in April, just so they're on our bills.
Mhm.
And we had the boiler.
Oh, yeah.
You said the boiler hasn't come out of that?
It's in the bills.
Oh.
Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Make the motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Move by Barb to approve the treasurer's report, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jason, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying nay. Passed unanimously. Building Department monthly report for 2 months, March and February. Any question on anything there?
Don't seem to be a lot going on, but maybe it's the time of year.
There is not a lot going on, so,
It's early.
yeah.
Go to our first business item, approval of the bills.
So a good time to tell us about the library boiler.
Well, library boiler went out. Had to be completely replaced.
Did they fix it?
They did, and it is working great. I did have to call Van Dyken. It got really warm in the library and then it got really cold in the library and we would go to the thermostat and it wouldn't adjust. So I called them and there was a wire that had come disconnected. And so they put it in there and everything's working great now.
Yeah, it was a surprising email. I kinda
That was-
wanted to email and say, didn't we just fix that? But I thought I'd sound like an old man.
That
No,
was
it was
right
like-
before I came, so it was 17 years ago.
I was gonna say 17
Okay.
years ago.
Or did we just have a repair to it, like four years ago or something? I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But this one's even smaller than that one. And that one's smaller than
Yeah,
the
I just
original.
couldn't-
It's
I-
just,
I
they get
was-
smaller and smaller.
I was surprised
High
at how
efficient.
expensive it was, yeah. Oh, you mean the actual,
This,
boiler?
the unit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Footprint,
And it's an upright one, so it's easier to work on
Yeah,
instead of elongated.
I know we went from a boiler to a condensing one, we went from something that was the size of a pallet to something like a little electric box on the wall.
On the wall, yeah. This isn't on the wall, but it's really
Right,
close, but yeah.
Hope it lasts longer.
Me too.
This was cheaper than the last boiler.
yeah.
I reminded finally where that.
so there's two
People came in and said, this ain't gonna work. It lasted 17 years, or whatever the number was. I don't think it was 17 though.
That last one, they put it in 17 years ago.
It was the year before I started. And I remember y'all were still talking about it when I.
I just remember that, Mr. Armach stated way back when that the design that came from a certain, heating and cooling company was not gonna work.
Right, I
And,
remember that as well.
and he said, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be back and you're gonna be fixing this thing. And then someone asked the actual engineer, is this gonna work? And he said, yes. Well, we voted, went with the cheaper thing, them, and then a year later, he was exactly right, it did not work. So,
The Van Dyken guy said the one that was put in was a mock-up of a one that was a cheaper rendition, and they were selling like hotcakes. So another company took their idea and kind of zooped it up a little bit and then did this, and that's the one that we had. And he was surprised it lasts 17 years because it wasn't a good unit apparently, I don't know.
Wow.
So this one, they say we got a good one.
Good.
motion,
Motion to approve the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Rob to pay the bills. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jason. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, signify by saying nay. Passed unanimously. Next item is accessory dwelling unit regulations.
I'll give you my 2 cents after I went through it and I had some questions for Kevin. And these are my notes to Kevin. I said that, these questions were answered in my opinion. The ADUs are for family members only, and that's correct. The ADUs have a rear and side setbacks, which are correct. They cannot be mobile or temporary, which is correct. It can't be a hotel, bed and breakfast, or rental, and that's in there, it can't be correct. One of my questions was, what about enforcement? Well, he wrote me back a long paragraph and says, this is kind of the way we do it now. Somebody complains, we look at it,
Right,
that's the way it is.
Yeah.
We have no enforcement other
He
than.
said it would be hard to enforce.
Yes.
Cause it's gonna be hard
Yep.
for you to prove if it's a family member.
Absolutely
or
correct.
whatever.
But it's worse, yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
the way it is. My other question was, what if the property was sold and the ADU was on a property? Does a special use permit go with the new owner? And he said, yes, it does.
oh, it does.
It does. And I would have been surprised, wouldn't have thought so, but he said it did.
Yeah, cause, well, I guess they'd have to abide by
Mhm.
the restrictions that it is, so.
So he answered all my questions.
So do we need to vote on approving that, or is that a vote? Yeah,
Yep. I didn't have any changes in it.
Planning Commission recommendation.
I'll make the motion, we accept the ordinance on amending for accessory dwelling units.
Then move the bill, accept the accessory dwelling unit regulations ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Barb. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I think you better do a
roll call?
roll call in here. I believe it
If
does.
you're in favor, say yes. If you're not, please say no. Marcy?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Myself, yes. That's 6-0. Next one is Township Standards of Ethical Conduct.
Municipal Library millage renewal.
Oh, I'm sorry. The next issue is the library village renewal proposal. And Mary Jo Schuster's here from the library. I know you've worked with your attorney quite a bit on the wording.
Yep.
And,
She drew that document up.
who is your attorney?
Her name is Ann. I can't pronounce her last name. She's with Foster Swift.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Is there anything you'd like to tell the board about, or nothing to tell?
It's
Maybe you
just,
want-
it's the same. We are not asking for anything different, it's the same, just a basic renewal from 10 years ago. So what you have in front of you is what she came up with, and I gave her, she sent me a paper to fill out, I put all the information down, sent it back to her. This is what she came up with and sent it back to me. I brought it to the library board and they read it through, they approved it, and then we submitted it to you.
And then I made a resolution that we have to pass to put it on the ballot. Based on the information that the attorney gave Mary Jo.
Yep.
And I had Cliff review the resolution also.
Yes, and some of the information I received to put on, to give to her was from Cliff, so we were making sure the numbers were correct.
Any questions for Mary Jo and from the board? Thank you, Mary
All
Jo.
right, thank you.
I don't have a resolution, but you must have it somewhere. That must be in here.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, it's around.
And is that resolution 26-02?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve?
Also should be a roll call then.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution 2602 for the library.
I'll second it.
we'll do a roll call vote. If you agree with the resolution number 26-2, please say yes. If you don't, say no. Rob?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Darcy?
Yes.
Myself, yes. That's 6-0. Now, I always get ahead of myself. Township standards of ethical conduct.
You might as well give it to me.
I'll give it to Bill.
There you go. Dale asked me if he wanted to put on the agenda, and I wrote him back an email and he just attached it to everybody, so basically it's, if the board doesn't wanna do it, then I'm not gonna work on it. But it's like, you call it standard of ethics, or code of ethics, or employee handbook, or personal handbook. Every company I ever worked for had one. A lot of townships have them, a lot of villages have them, a lot of cities have them. I'm guessing you might have one for your farm. I'm guessing Elite's got one probably. If they don't, they should have probably.
We're working on it.
Oh, there you go. As I go through looking at some of them, the jurisdiction and the ethics part of it extends to, and not limited to, elected full-time employees, elected and appointed officials, full-time, part-time employees, paid and unpaid members of the board commissions, people who serve under the personal services contract, that has a contract. just some of the standards they look for, conflicts of interest, disclosure, impartiality. A lot of them have drug and alcohol use, physical and sexual abuse, dress codes, internet usage, public communication devices. It can get as deep as you want to. I've looked at several of them out there. There's a lot of very good ones on townships, but I mean, if the board wants me to do it, I'll be glad to work on one to put it together. I can't see spending thousands of dollars sending it to an attorney who's gonna copy it from somebody else, and I can do that for nothing.
We just had our insurance audit yesterday from our plan. And he said they've got when he got to the part, do we have a employee handbook or all that? He said they have a bunch of samples too. That they would send us over or whatever, so.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there.
I'm not interested in something because the ladies in the office are naughty. That's not what I'm interested in. If we want a handbook for employees to sign when they come in, that's a totally different subject. But this started because we were told we were not being ethical, which is not true.
Like I said,
So.
there's always opinions, and remember, it's the good old boys. That
It
must
is
be
the
one of
little
you.
boys. It's not me.
Sorry.
I'm the opposite.
Oh, okay. Like I said, if the board wants to do it, I'll be glad to step up and help do it. But if you don't wanna do it, it's no skin up my nose. Doesn't matter.
Well,
We can have one done, doesn't matter. If you don't do it, follow them, it still doesn't matter. A couple of these handbooks, or even some of the townships and villages, they actually had a township a township appoints 3 or 4 people on a board to review any kind of complaints. And their review stood.
I don't think you need to go that deep.
Now getting back to what Marcy said, I was on that meeting too. His name was Dave Glotzbach, and he was from Power Plant. And what they're doing is they're trying to work with townships to reduce risk. And naturally, because that's better for them as an insurance company, and potentially better for the township. Now, when he makes his report, I would say that if he recommends us having an employee policy, I think that would be good. So, at last meeting, I thought that we were kind of covered with our principles of township governance, and excellent, because all the board members have signed it. And at that meeting, I just said that the deputies wanted to sign it. They didn't have to sign it by any means, but they could sign that as well. But so, I guess I'd like to just table it until we see what actually his report says. Because that might give us some barometer of how necessary these things are and what different townships are doing.
If he wants to send you in some examples, I'd be interested in seeing what he's got.
As long as we're doing it for the right reasons, that's all I care about.
Yep.
So would that be the consensus of the board then?
We can see what the report says, it's fine.
Sounds good. Put it on, we should get that in a month. I'll put it on next month's agenda. Policy for trailer parks for cleanup days. And I thought that there was a gal, I've never met her, but her name is Stormy?
Yep.
She was gonna come from the trailer park. Is Stormy here this evening?
No. I was the one that talked to her initially though, and she's always came in the past from Glenwood with trailer load after trailer load after trailer load of stuff from the trailer park. What I've been told in the past was, you know, when people leave the park and abandon a mobile home or whatever, they leave stuff in the mobile home.
Sure.
So then they collect it and they bring it on cleanup days. But now we're charged per piece of furniture. And she asked if they could go around the park and collect people's stuff to bring to cleanup days. But there's a difference between a business bringing the stuff they should be getting rid of and them just collecting what people have in their trailers they want to dispose of. And I didn't want to answer her question on my own. So I'm
Yeah.
like, Dale, that's the board.
It's a tricky one.
Cause I don't know what to tell her. I think last year we limited the amount she could bring, but I don't remember exactly what it was. So if we pass something this year, I wanna type it up and put it in our book that we bring to all cleanup days with addresses in it. So we don't have to play this guessing game of what we're.
Is this person a resident?
She's a resident, but she's the manager.
But she lives there, right?
She does live there.
Well, as a resident, she
Yes,
could bring it, but you can't bring it out of 14 other people, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, it sounds like she's collecting for
That's
other
what,
people
I
because
just
they
know
only
that
have one
that's
trailer.
been done in the past.
Yeah,
which I understand because of the way the community is, but it'd be no different than me going around town with a trailer and saying, hey, you have any trash? And then me take, I mean, we're limited by,
It's
per resident.
It's one piece of furniture per household. Now, I told her, I said, I don't care the kind of garbage you bring, like in trash bags. I don't care about that. It's the furniture
furniture
that's
is
the
a-
problem.
It's the couches and the chairs,
And-
Right.
the
Yes,
mattresses.
yes, all that stuff is the problem, because we have to pay per piece. Before,
Which is different.
we just got to stick it in the dumpster and we paid by the weight or whatever.
Okay.
But now we have to pay per piece, so we're allowing them one, even though I don't know, the price was like $20 or 25 or something.
What is it? What do they charge us per piece?
Something like 20 or 25
Really?
bucks per piece. So we're allowing one,
Yeah, I don't think that
but
she would be any different than any resident. You can just bring in one and,
That's what I would say.
I mean, if they wanted all the other residents there to encourage them to bring in their stuff, that's fine.
she just said she wanted to help them by loading
Well-
up a trailer.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice, but
I guess if she's got 5 residents, all 5 residents better be in that vehicle with her. I mean, seriously, I get it if they've only got one trailer.
Right, I get
But
it.
all 5 residents have to be in the vehicle with her
Right.
to prove that it's their stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, and each resident gets one.
Yeah, and the problem is I think most of the stuff she wants to bring they're probably not residents anymore.
Yeah.
Probably left. I just know that's the way it was in the past. Maybe things have changed, and maybe I'm assuming, but I
Yeah.
know that's the way it was in the past.
Otherwise, she's going to have to take that load over to the dump. It's going to have to be weighed and she's going to have to pay
Right,
Right,
by load.
and they pay, that kind of stuff, they do charge per piece.
Mhm.
So that's why we're being charged per piece. You
Oh,
used to be
okay.
able to do it by the weight, and
But-
now it's per piece.
So,
I just don't see how, I mean, that could cascade into, like I said, people collecting for other people. I mean, even if it wasn't other people that were residents.
I think it'd be cheaper for her just to get a big dumpster.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
She'd be better off to rent her own dumpster.
park managers, that's just, they expect that. That's
Yeah.
just what's gonna happen when people leave, they're always gonna have lots of.
That park would be better off to rent their own dumpster.
What do you think, Bill?
Come on, you got an opinion.
I do. I think they should be limited to one resident.
So what are you gonna do? Obviously, what are we going to do if somebody pulls up?
Well, they're gonna have to have someone with a driver's license for
Correct,
one,
for residents.
for one piece per household.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
I think that's what the rule is. I don't think it's a bad thing to say what it is.
Right.
Did you wanna get back to St. Kelly?
I think you should.
Well, I just asked. You just tell me what to say, Marcy.
Oh, boy.
Terribly sorry, however.
Just write it down and
Yeah.
won't say the wrong.
We'll work on it next week, I'll put it down.
Okay, the consensus of the board is to
Yeah.
have one couch or big chair per.
One piece of furniture per, yeah.
Per household.
I have a bird pile, every now and then one shows up in it, I don't know where they come from, but they're just there. Sounds familiar, Rob?
Mhm.
Right? They just show up.
I guess now I know why.
The next item on our agenda
Yes.
Are you coming?
is the elevator repair quote. Now, Kone was out here, and I'm not an expert on elevator repair, but it seemed like when they came out here initially, it was the pump and some sort of tank that was going bad. And that they thought they just kind of give a ballpark of they could be $35,000. And then the guy that was here said he fixed it. I called Mara back and she said, well, it is fixed, but kind of temporarily. You gotta plan on, maybe this will last a year or a couple of years. Okay.
You said perfect.
Well, the story don't end there.
Oh, okay.
No, it does not.
So what happened then is, Marcy, went down the elevator or something and found out the darn thing wasn't working right again.
It doesn't want to go up.
And what it does is, I got in it, I had my phone, so I was gonna call if I needed help. But, it worked right for about 3 times, and then, after that, you get down and then you close the door and wanna go back up, then there was this really long delay. So it wasn't working properly. I tried it again today and it still did that, and this delay is quite significant.
An hour and a half. We heard the elevator come upstairs an hour and a half later
Later.
after he tried it.
No, no, a person it's not a really bad thing, cause if a person just presses the open door, but they might get scared and who knows, you can get out of the thing, just press.
Well, you can now. It just seems weird that every time they come and fix something, the next time we use it, something else is broke.
I
So
don't know what that would be that would cause a delay. It's just a hydraulic
It's
pump.
not a
Well-
pump, it's not a tank, it's
According to this, when you look at the email I got with this fella, he does say that it could be, he's thinking it's a power unit. He said, I would believe it'd be a power unit.
that tells the pump to go up and down or off
Yeah,
or.
so it sounded like some electrical thing that might not even be related to what Kone did.
From
No.
Otis is telling you this?
Well, Marcy wanted me to get another quote here. Now, you gotta realize, when you go with this quote from Otis, very reliable company, these are big companies, okay. And Schindler's another one, but anyways, I called Otis now, and you got a copy of this repair order. Now, I have to sign this if the board wants to go this route. Now, their billing rate is $400 an hour. And their base proposal is a minimum of 2 hours, so it's gonna cost all of $800. And they say it will not exceed 8 hours. So the worst scenario could be 8 hours, could be $3,200. So what I would like to do is just have Kone come back and tell them, we're not gonna pay him again for coming out here again. And, but, we wanna see if this is totally different than something they shouldn't,
can someone be here to watch what they're doing?
I would like to be.
Because
Yeah.
I just give them the key and let them go fix it. I don't know what they're fixing when
It doesn't
they're
sound like
here.
it could be anything that complicated.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, functionally, everything's fine. There's just something not activating right,
I'd like them to come out.
Oil running all over.
I'd like them
the
to say they're not going to charge us for a service call, cause they were just here.
And they charged us $1,400 for the last service call, and that was just for them to diagnose it, but Dale did get them to cut it in half, because we thought that was
Kinda ridiculous.
ridiculous for them to come out and say.
Well, I think because they've already been here, they should be the fastest to repair it at this point.
I think so.
You know, even if both companies charge the same, I would assume Coney would be faster because they've already dealt with it, you know.
Mhm.
I don't,
So if it's the consensus of the board, I'll call Coney the first thing next week and explain that we don't intend to pay them anything for coming out, cause they were just here.
Yeah.
And that, hopefully it's not at all related to what they did before.
And I think that was the first time we used it since they left. Because we were waiting for them to fix it, because we were disposing of some old ballots, and we had a dumpster cart sitting up there waiting to bring it
Go
down
down.
on the elevator and bring it back up. So as soon as they fixed it, we did that, and we put it back on there, and it did nothing. They're like, go up, please, go up, I don't wanna empty this bucket. Go up.
What did we do with our $11,000 worth of grant money that they stuck in it?
that was
That was for the
first.
$20,000 worth of stuff that we had to do to make it
Yeah,
so
that
it
was-
was.
Did that ever get done?
It did, but ever since then, I'm just saying, every time they touched it, we use it once or twice, and then it needs something else. That's what makes me leery.
Yeah, I understand.
Get pretty expensive per trip.
It is.
I would give them one more shot and
But don't pay them for a service call.
I'd say that's the
Right.
consensus of the board.
I would think, yeah, I would have hoped they'd be open to that when you tell them, you know, after you left, we tried it and it didn't work.
Well,
I mean,
hopefully,
clearly if they do have something to repair, you're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah.
It'd just be the call itself, you would hope they would come out and check it.
okay, there's
I agree with Jason, I think it's a good approach.
other informational, I have a statement I've provided to all the board members. Dear voters of Sparta Township, I wanted to make it perfectly clear to my loyal supporters as to the issue of my residency that came up at our last township board meeting. That I live in Sparta Township. My address is 9280 Sparta Avenue, Sparta, Michigan, 49345. I'm a registered voter at this address. I receive my mailing at this address. I keep my personal belongings and farm equipment at this address, and it is my primary residence. My wife and I recently purchased a condo in Rockford, Michigan, and we refer it to as our condo cottage. I spent some nights there. This was a condo that needed a lot of work, and I spent a lot of time working on that condo. And those times I did spend the night, because I had to get that ready for my wife to move in there. To easily remove the issue of where I sleep, I will be sleeping at my home residence in Sparta during the week. I hope this explains the issue. I work in the township office 4 days a week, Monday 3 to 5, Tuesday 2 to 5, Wednesday 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and Thursday 3 to 5. My cell number is 616-952-1441. Thank you for your many years of support. Dale Bergman, Sparta Township Supervisor. Thank you. Is there any public comment?
Well, still another.
Other information.
Any other information?
Kevin got some maps here on her desk. What are those?
I put those on there because we have a guest that's gonna talk tonight about the sports park, and I thought you might want some maps. So I was being
I
proactive.
was afraid these were wetlands and
They
like,
are wetlands.
well, yes, but they've dried out since then.
Just saying.
Wait till
Go
the next
ahead, Rob.
couple of days.
Well, we're still another informational.
Yes.
I think, there's a statement from our attorney that should be read. I don't know, from Mike Homer, our attorney. About the lawsuit that was filed against the township. It doesn't have to be read all through, but I think the first 2 paragraphs should be read.
You want me to read it?
Yeah. If you would, Mercy.
On March 16th, 2026, the U.S. District Judge Hala J. Jarbu dismissed all claims in the lawsuit filed against Sparta Township and several township officials by CD Member Sales LLC. CD Member Sales LLC filed a suit against the township after the Kent County declined to process a Village of Sparta petition to annex a 58-acre parcel owned by CD Member. The township opposed the annexation on the grounds that the village was contractually barred from doing so under the 2009 Act 425 agreement. The Kent County Administrator agreed with the township's position. The court dismissed all 4 claims brought by the plaintiff. You want me to read those?
I don't know if it's necessary, but I think that is a statement is pretty important for the township. It shows that a 425 agreement was legal despite claims. And
So basically what it was saying though is that if you buy a piece of property, say, this was zoned Ag 2. What you legally can do is follow our ordinance according to the zoning for Ag 2. You are not,
You're not entitled to get,
Entitled.
right?
to have it switch municipalities or anything like that, and that's what he said we were stopping him from doing. So that's not an entitlement. You can ask to be annexed, but you're not entitled.
Read the last paragraph, please.
In addition, claims against the 7 named individual township officials were dismissed for lack of standing. The plaintiff failed to adequately allege that any specific official caused or used remedy is alleged as injuries. And this comes straight from our attorney. The actual document was 13 pages long with many examples of previous lawsuits of why it was dismissed, so.
Okay.
Any other informational? No public comment. Any public comment at this time?
On a little more lighthearted note. Hi, first timer, so I apologize if I'm too quick or too quiet.
Can you state your name and your address?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
My name is Cody Kidder. I grew up just down the road in Cedar Springs. I do currently live down in Grand Rapids, but with plans to move up here to Sparta with my wife in the near future, so. My friends and I are avid mountain bikers, but not in the sense you're used to seeing. It may seem counterintuitive to cycling, but there's an entire subgenre of the sport that gets little to no love around the Grand Rapids area. Naturally due to its lack of any real elevation. It's called gravity and downhill riding. So there's I lost my spot already. Many of the types of riders who enjoy downhill and gravity riding enjoy like jumps and features, call them, to ride their bikes on, very similar to a skate park. So what I'm proposing would be a bike park at 377 North State Street, right across from Maxine's. My friends and I have been taking way too many trips to Ohio to go ride our bikes, and that seems silly to me. So the city of Newark, Ohio has got a city park called Horns Hill Park, which is truly a testament of if you build it, they will come. And when I learned of the possibility of a hotel maybe being built in Sparta somewhere, I started to think of ways we could attract guests and fill those rooms. And I'm not proposing we get rid of the disc golf course by any means, but I mean, me and my wife just went back there and that parking lot was full, so that's a nice draw for the area and I understand the importance of that. But for the sake of numbers, according to Google Gemini, the mountain bike industry generates somewhere between like $9.5 and $13 billion, whereas disc golf is more like a $188 to $620 million industry, so safe to say mountain biking trumps disc golf. But liability always seems to be the tough part that we run into. Doug at Cansburg used to have a skills park, the owner of Cansburg used to have a skills park back there where guys like myself could go and refine our skills, and then he got sick of carrying the liability policy, so everything got demolished. And that was last year, and a lot of people got heartbroken over that deal, including myself. So that left a hole in the market, so to speak. And I was just in Tennessee a couple of weeks ago with my pregnant wife here, and they found this place called Baker's Preserve, which is a series of connected trails all throughout their downtown metropolitan area. And it's a series of walking and biking trails all mixed. So you could tell that was a massive draw of the area. It was just swarmed with people. And she was able to walk the trails while I rode my bike around. So, you know, those communities, Ohio, out west, really out east, all over except Michigan, seem to really be embracing the mountain bike community. And a bike park does not only draw in riders, but also entire families. So when you get the guys here riding their bikes, their wives go and visit farm stands, get lunch, walk around shops and whatnot. So I think there's a real interest on your guys' behalf there. But you know, there's no doubt that mountain biking is experiencing a big boom right now. And it just seems like West Michigan's missing the boat. Rockford seems to be embracing it, and I think you guys could capitalize. So I appreciate your time.
Does Alpine have one on the
Lawfield.
Wallfield Park?
Yep. It's just not cool enough.
No,
There's just not enough hills.
It's not enough. It's like nobody, there's not, like I said, the elevation is the key. So we don't have that here. So you gotta come up with other cool ways to make it
The
fun.
one in Tennessee, Baker's, that's probably making bourbon, so they
A
probably
lot of that down there, that's for sure.
one of their things. Obviously, you're pretty good, you don't have any casts or anything, so you must be okay.
There's a few road burns. We were just, but so yeah, it's just, I'm to the point to where I'm sick of talking about it, so here I am.
Okay.
That's all right.
Oh, we got
You might
three,
ask.
got three members of our, SRA here tonight, so.
How much space does it take, or
So I wasn't sure how interested you guys would be, so I didn't really prepare all of it. You
That's
know,
okay.
and if you know, in a month this went well, I'm happy to propose a full proposal and give you more.
because obviously you've walked the area out there,
Yeah, I
right?
know it's wet
And you
back
know where the,
It'd be a
The
perfect
Frisbee
situation
trails
would be
are.
relocate hole 17 and 18 of the disc golf course and use that little hill. But even that little bit, like right when you're pulling down the drive and the parking lot goes to the left, I see you guys got a piece of equipment back in there with some new sand. That little square would be ideal, because you could make like a little pump track to start, and then later on it could turn
That's
into
not
more.
ours, is it?
Yeah, I don't know how we, I don't know if you know where the
Oh,
boundary
is
is.
that not yours? I have the map printed here. I wasn't sure where the lines were actually exactly at. So, I mean, I have that same thing you guys have printed in front of you, right? Right there where call it the L there of the parking lot there, that square there, right next to the parking lot, isn't yours, where that opening is?
Show me on this.
Here.
That is all gonna be, that's overflow parking. yeah.
Is it? Okay, well, it could be a bike park.
I will give you my 2 cents.
Yeah, sure. Well,
So, you know, the people just put last year in a walking trail through
I
there.
saw that. I just saw Tessa
And
Tape
they
sponsored that.
did a lot of work and effort,
Yeah.
Sue Blackhall and they put a lot of effort into
Sure.
that. The disc golf people have actually done almost all their own work.
We would too.
Spent all their
We
money.
would love to too. I have 3 friends that just went as far as starting a trail building company to combat the same frustration that I have, but I'm just taking a different approach. I think that.
I really appreciate the interest. I question how
how it overlays.
how it would overlay and not get in the way of frisbee golf
Sure.
or the walking trail get people and not cause a big problem.
Or on the wetlands, cause if you want this map, our zoning,
That's all wet and trees.
Supposedly.
This is all, where the
It's
green
not the
lines are is
super
where you
hilly
can't do
either.
anything.
Wallfield actually probably has a little more rolling to it than what that does.
Yeah, drainage is certainly imperative when it comes to single track. You guys are talking about a single track trail, that's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about something standalone you could do it in an area as small as a half an acre if you want to.
Oh, I see.
It's not a trail system.
Oh, okay.
No.
You're just talking about some jumps and some
Correct.
moguls
I
and.
have just some, you'd have to pass around, I only have one, I'm
That's
so
okay.
sorry, but.
No, that's fine.
There's some small examples of what I'm proposing or talking about.
Oh, okay.
So there's ways to make it,
Oh, I see.
kinda green, as well. There can be dirt, they could be asphalt for pump tracks to cut down on maintenance.
That's frisbee golf.
Okay, and this,
Frisbee golf.
and this is all wet?
I knew that was wet. I
Yeah,
could tell
yeah,
from the
yeah.
aerial photo, that's
I
too
was
wet.
just- Here, you can pass that down.
Unless you wanna spend a bunch of money on sand, which is not gonna happen. I've already gone as far as printing a form. West Michigan Mountain Bike Alliance is a nonprofit organization in the area that only pays attention to the cross-country single-track riders. And I could fill the room next month with gravity downhill guys if you want me to. There's something here, there is.
So you just gotta find the right location for something like that.
And people to listen, like yourselves. So I just appreciate your time, if nothing else.
Hang in there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's some, and mountain biker, like I said, I've been to Horns Hill, Ohio, 4.5 hours away, a handful of times to a ride there, City Park, because we don't have anything like it. And it seems silly that we're going to a lesser
It
state.
seems like that's not a lot of land you need for something like that.
You don't need much, and it could create a real draw to the area. And you could bring in whole families, and then, like you say, the wives are out there shopping.
We always
have fun.
go on the bike trips.
Yeah, they always go, they always join, I have a big group of friends.
So you move up that
You move up
picture.
here and you buy a farm, see?
Yeah, well, that is the plan, so I'd love to be
Then I have my
I
own,
would love to be a mile from that then.
Pass that to
Because
Bob
we'll be
Whalen so you
living
can
right-
so put it on your own farm, see?
That's also gonna happen. There will be 2 bike parks, one's private, one's.
There you go.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's a liability.
Yeah, sure. That's the biggest obstacle we would have to overcome is adding layers.
Maybe even on the rodeo grounds.
No,
There's some
that's
bells.
privately owned.
Well, I know, but
But it's,
How much?
it's hilly.
It is hilly.
For the jumps like this.
Obviously, the more the merrier, but we would work with.
Acre?
Whatever, sure, an acre would be something.
That area south of where we've built up for the additional parking. If you remember, when we had Eagle come out there, they said that we could contour that parking all through there, cause it wasn't deemed wetlands. I mean, that's a sizable chunk of land to put this in. It's wet right now, of course, because of all the rain we've had.
It'd be a
but-
seasonal thing, a lot of the trails are shut down this time of year anyways, due to drainage issues.
At the end of
That's
your
not-
new parking lot going to the
Yeah, I
south.
would reserve that. We might still need that as parking.
No,
And-
you
and
probably
I
do.
agree, I mean, we potentially will need, to look at that for parking, but
If you look at what Plainfield Charter's got going on with the Rockford, or the Meyer Sports Complex, it's virtually the same thing, they just have 50 more acres. And they have 3 different mountain bike trails, so it's obviously working for them. But that's single track, you could.
Yeah, it's all, so you're not talking.
No, but it could always turn into if you start to see some success.
Yeah, I think we'd be, off the top of my head, I feel very limited for space right now.
Sure. Is Algoma Sports Park your guys' land as well?
No,
No.
That'd be Algoma Township.
Duh, geez, I'm sorry.
no, that's okay.
yeah, it's totally
I'm
fine.
just trying to, my brain is.
Yeah,
You're good.
there's nothing out in Cannonsburg to do something like
Just
that.
doesn't want anything to do. I called Doug, I used to work for him as a snowboard instructor, so I have his personal cell phone, I called him and I was like, what are you doing with Pando? Cause he bought Pando
Yeah,
and signed a 40-year lease on it with the option to buy at the end. I mean, and he just shut it down to drive traffic to Canford, which is smart, but it's just sitting there vacant. And it's frustrating because that's a staple and it's just running itself into the ground, so, and from the gist of the conversation I had with him was he's already got the just keep getting those everywhere you turn,
yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
So-
leave their information with these guys, so if they look at it, they can,
I would love to. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of information, but I'll leave everything I have and.
Leave your name, your number.
Please, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
These aren't motorized bikes, are they?
No motors,
No, they're-
nope, no pedal bikes, that's, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't even waste my time. Nope,
Why don't we meet on site with them, Rob, and just kind of get a better feel for exactly what they're looking to do?
I could meet with you out there, we could meet with you out there, but I still question, I don't know where you could really put it at this time.
Sure.
Till we finalize what we're doing with, when the drain finishes their drain and all that stuff, and we still might need that for parking at some point.
Sure.
I think there's probably a better location than that, but
I'm happy to, if there's enough interest on your behalf, I'm happy to go further with the proposal if we could work out the details there, you know, but I don't wanna waste my time.
yeah, right, I
And we
think
don't
it's,
wanna waste your
I think
time.
it's pretty small. We don't have much room, is what I'm saying.
All right, I appreciate you guys' time, thank you.
Yeah.
We're glad you came though.
Is there any further public comment? Tim? Entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Rob, is there a second? Second by Barb.
Marcy, she beat me.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying nay. Adjourned.
Sorry, did you get it?